The GT500, the peak Mustang you supposedly can buy. But how does this compare to a Mustang GT with a supercharger? I guess we're gonna find out today. Let's see how my built Mustang GT or supercharged one compares to a stock GT500. Now first we're going to begin with a comparison on looks. Obviously this is going to be fully subjective because it's whatever suits your taste. I do prefer the looks of the GT500 over a regular Mustang because when you see Mustangs driving down the road, it's kind of common. It's the best selling coupe in the United States, so obviously you're going to see it a ton. You're not going to see the accents of a GT500, the snake, that big cowl hood with the vents and everything, and you're obviously also not going to see the side skirts and body kits like that on a Mustang GT unless they're modified. So I have to give the GT500 +1 points right here because it does look distinct as opposed to a regular Mustang that you see very often. So I'm going to give you guys the basic rundown on the key differences between the two. Obviously this one comes with a 5.2 liter V8. Mine comes with a 5 liter Coyote. This one's called the Predator. Pretty scary name. And it comes with a Root style supercharger. Jesus, that was hot. But you can see that every single one of these have this cool little indicator that shows that they were built with pride by Shelby and Ford, and then they have the signature. Pretty cool stuff. Now the GT500 over there makes 760 to the crank stock. I think if we were to estimate it, maybe high 600s to the wheel. And my Mustang right here makes over 1,000 to the crank. We went on the dyno, made 870. We were down a fuel pump though. So realistically, I'd say that it makes around 930. Now I have a 6-speed manual transmission that happens to be built now. It is not stock. He has a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. And I think I would take the 7-speed dual clutch over the manual because let's be real here, you can't beat how fast this thing shifts. It is crazy. I'm pretty sure it's built by Tremec. So stepping inside the interior here, it looks a lot like my Mustang GT. It's not really different. The only thing that you get different here is the carbon fiber on the dash, the Shelby insignia, the Shelby on the stitching right here. You can see the embroidery. And that's pretty much it. It feels like you're in a Mustang GT. It's not really that much different. So we're gonna give her a good start. Now this thing has a completely bone stock exhaust. Pretty freaking good. So let's go ahead and give mine a start now. Now I will say that they do both sound kind of similar. Mine's obviously louder. He has the cats. He has a stock exhaust system. The car is bone stock to begin with. Mine isn't. It's the opposite. Now obviously you can hear the supercharger whining as well, but my exhaust note is a little bit louder coming out of here. Just wanted to show you all the difference in idle between the two. Listen to mine. It's all supercharger whine. It's the gears inside of there. They're straight cut. Now, if you're not familiar with this style of supercharger, I said it was different than that one. It's a centrifugal supercharger. It works the same way in the sense that it uses the crank to spin a belt, which then spins the supercharger and draws in more air, but it's not a compressor style like that where it sits on top. It's kind of separate. It's kind of like a belt-driven turbo. So you don't get a cool whine with this one at idle, but I'm sure it whines when you get on it. Now, I made a point that these two cars share a very similar interior, despite the fact that the GT500 retails for $79,000 when you can pick up a Mustang GT for high 30s and maybe even low 30s nowadays. So I wasn't kidding when I said that. I have the 401A package on my Mustang GT, which actually gives me the digital dash, like pretty much the same exact one that the GT500 has, minus some track features, you know, like the timer and the suspension changing, but I pretty much have the same digital dash. And then if you look at the inside, it's almost exactly the same. Besides the carbon fiber dash, like I previously mentioned, and you know, like the door trim that says Shelby American, it's pretty much the same thing. So don't expect to hop in a GT500 and expect a totally different interior experience as opposed to a Mustang GT. If you get the highest trim Mustang GT, which is the 401A package, it's kind of the same as the GT500. But long story short, there is some similarity between this thing and my Mustang GT. Same digital dash, just more options. And I really do like the track mode on this thing. It's sweet, just like my Mustang. So it looks exactly the same in that aspect. Now, if we hop back in my Mustang, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm scrolling through all these options for different modes, and it dynamically changes the dash, just like the GT500. Once again, pointing out the subtle differences between the two. If you get out of the car and open the door, one says Mustang, the other one says Ford Performance, and then the puddle lamp, which is the light on the ground, shows a snake versus a horse.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been testing so much, all these wrestlers nice, all these different situations that I've been through.
Alright, Michael just drove it. He loved it. Now it's my turn.
This thing was awesome.
So this thing makes like less power than mine did on pump gas, but it's auto, so it definitely was faster than my manual car was at that point. It should be pretty cool though. I'm gonna see in a second. We'll see what it's like. I just want to see how much it'll spin. So we're gonna see right now. Actually, it didn't spin at all.
No, yeah.
It just hooked.
I know.
It reacts so well. You see that?
Yeah.
I have never driven a car with like that good of a shifting gearbox off the paddles. Like every time I drive one, it lags. But look,
Yeah.
it's like instant. And of course, now we need to do the most anticipated part of the video, a rev battle between the two cars. Let me know which one you think sounds better. Let's do it. Now before we intended on lining up, we wanted to get some baseline draggy numbers. Obviously we can't do a dig. My car makes way too much power to be doing that without any prep whatsoever. So we were going to do some rolls, and I was wondering what his stock GT500 would do. So we tried to test that out. Time to get to the lowest gear possible and give it the full beats. Unfortunately, I was pretty correct because we ran a code scanner and there were 1,000,001 codes on the car, and that definitely explains the timing pool. It had nothing up top, so it just fell on its face like it didn't want any more power, and he had several codes. He still has to get them checked out, so unfortunately we can't line both of them up. But hypothetically speaking, if we took a healthy GT500 and compared it to Sally, this is the result. Now this is a run for a completely bone stock GT500. Pay attention to the 60 to 130 time, as this is indicative of the outcome for a roll race between the two cars. Now let's go ahead and compare that to my Mustang GT. Mind you, I do not have an automatic. I'm doing all the shifting myself, and this is what it put down.
Alright, we're gonna see if it hooks first.
So we've got a baseline 2-second time difference, and that's a lot in racing. 1/10 of a second is about half a car, 2 seconds is about 3 bus lengths. And if you all haven't seen the video of me racing the Audi R8, that's what 2 seconds translates to. It's like between the difference of here, there, and gone. I'm in a different state by the time he actually even catches up to me. So there's your clear difference between the GT500 and my modified Mustang GT. So this video is sponsored by Revs Motors. We're actually going to be buying supercars just like this 812 Superfast, so let's go ahead and check it out. If you guys have a supercar or hypercar that you want to sell to us, click the link in my description. I'll also link it in the right-hand corner of the screen where you can check it out, and definitely let us know. So this is a brand new Superfast, and it is absolutely beautiful. So once again, if you guys know somebody that's interested in buying a supercar, or perhaps you maybe want to buy one yourself, definitely let us know in the comment section below. We can literally get you anything. So just keep that in mind. Also remember, if you want to sell us your supercar, we'll give you one offer, no BS whatsoever, and we'll get that expedited. So definitely check out the link in my description below. Revs Motors and I are going to make sure that you're happy. And I almost forgot to mention, but Chris should be getting the GT500 back to 100% very soon. If you all want me to, I can reach out to him and arrange a race between Sally and the GT500 and obviously video it. So let me know if you all want to see that. Otherwise, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. What's up, guys? This is Zesty Wash, and I'm going to show you what it does today.
I said